Sprawl and brawl, ground and pound. Get ready for an MMA showdown. Now, the ultimate Octagon insiders, Sean and Tristan Ducross.
What's up, my beautiful people? We are the ducrossbros, as you can see. I'm Tristan Ducross. On my side, as always, my partner in crime, the one and only Sean Ducross. Boy, 2 shows in a row, and we are back in the business. Man, thank you guys for tuning in last week and making it a special return for us. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. In the meantime, man, oh man, what a wild week it's going to be this week, because we got AEW Dynamite that's happening tonight, that already happened, or you're talking about, what is it, March 3rd Revolution for AEW? Which is
literally Sunday.
Right? Crazy. I feel like this week has gone by super quick, and it's ridiculous if you ask me. In the meantime, right, we got... I really have to talk about it, Sean. I really going to have to talk about it. I have to talk about Ryan Garcia versus David Henney, because I am all sorts of confused with this whole thing that they have going on. Then we also got Bellator, PFL. It happened. New champions were crowned. Almost a complete sweep. Here our take on that after the fallout. And so much more with the show tonight. I mean, it's quite packed, if you ask me, and it's quite unique if you want to know, to be honest. So, I mean, the way that I look at it, right, when we're talking about combat sports and we're talking about pro wrestling or we're talking about boxing, it doesn't matter what we're talking about. It's the fact that we give you a different perspective. So thank you guys for allowing us to get back into this and start doing it. So, Sean, you want to start with AEW since that's real hot? That's on the tip of our tongue. That's what was going on tonight?
I mean, we could, but I mean, there's a little bit more bigger headlines than that, I think.
Okay, copy.
I mean,
what do you got? Where do you want to go first? Because, dude, I mean, I looked at our rundown. We could go with Canelo Alvarez. That's another topic.
And then you could talk about the latest one. I mean, the one that happened probably about an hour before we got on the show. That was Matt Riddle.
Oh my God!
Ariel
Yes,
Helwani.
let's talk about that. Yes, 100%. Let's talk about that. Okay. And now I'm even more confused with the whole entire New Japan situation with Matt Riddle and him becoming a world champion. Now I have an issue with that because everybody was all up in arms, right, about Matt Riddle being released. Oh my God, why was he released for the WWE? We all thought it was him smoking marijuana, right?
Right.
We all assumed that was the cause. Boy, were we freaking wrong, right? It wasn't just about weed.
No, it was easy to say that it was about weed, Tristan, for sure. It was easy to say that, you know what, that is the way that it needed to be because of how his persona comes off, that he was another Rob Van Dam, that was the issue with everybody else, was that it was easy to point, oh, it's weed.
Yep.
But the fact that he is on Ariel Helwani today and said that he got popped not once, but multiple times for cocaine.
Facts.
Not weed. Not painkillers.
Yo, he was snorting that white powder.
Like what? And then he goes to New Japan, gets released, and all that stuff like that. And like he said, the writing was on the wall. And he goes to New Japan and he wins the TV title.
Right. I don't know.
Now, do you think New Japan didn't really know about this situation?
So, for New Japan's sake, I hope to God they didn't know. I really don't. Because if they knew and they did hire him and they did put the strap on him, I have a problem with that. We are talking about Bones Jones Jr., remember?
Right.
He got popped for cocaine. Have we seen him?
No, we have not seen him.
granted, there's been talks about him coming back, and there's been talks about him coming back to the UFC. But, man, he hasn't been back, and he was suspended for a while for cocaine usage.
Right.
Matt Riddle, just like as if nothing happened, kicked out of the WWE, shows up in MLW and shows up in New Japan, and he's a world champion. Does that give them a good look?
And that's the thing.
As a company, you would never, ever think it's okay to put a world title who is going to be a face of your franchise as a cocaine user.
And that's the thing. You by putting the title on somebody, you're essentially making them the face of the company.
100%.
Whether it's the heavyweight title or not.
Yup.
Subsequently, you're now the face of the company. Mm-hmm. They believe you're going to draw money, you're going to pull weight.
Yup.
So I think that New Japan has to eventually, Matt Riddle has to drop that title.
If they do not have him drop the title, like say next week or sometime down the road, the media should turn this in to a scrutiny, because this underneath normal circumstances, this should not and never should be tolerated. Period. End of discussion. That title, New Japan, I'm calling you right now, New Japan Pro Wrestling. You need to do what is right. And right now, after going on national media, on a big platform like Errol Holani's show, and you admit that, bro, you are done.
But now let me play devil's advocate for you.
Talk to me.
Okay?
Yeah?
So it's easy for us, Tristan, to say that he should be done.
Yes.
That now with this news coming out, he should drop the title.
Right.
Let me play devil's advocate.
Go for it.
Who's to say that now he has not reborn himself?
Boy, the only way he's reborn if he pulled...
That he said he's got a new kid here named Matthew.
Right.
Okay. So he says that now being out of the WWE, the schedule's less. It's not as rigorous.
Right.
So maybe the 360 whatever days a year in the WWE was a little bit too much, was a little bit of an over workload. So maybe it was time for him to go away from the WWE. That it's a blessing and a curse. That now that he's away from the WWE, that he's not going to be intertwined into the beating up your body on house shows.
Okay.
Doing dumb stuff.
Okay, that's fair.
That he's going to be able to be home more often. He's not going to be away from his kids. I mean, it's not the easiest thing to be away from your family.
So, your devil's advocate, your storyline that you're spinning right now, right, is a lighter schedule than the WWE.
Right.
So, you think that he could, very possible, be off of it, is what you're saying. But my main concern is that if you were doing it for the years that you were in the WWE, and we already know the issues that are flooding WWE right now, do you think, I never heard at any point in time this guy went to rehab, correct? That's safe to assume. I've never seen articles. I have never seen any public announcement that he was in rehab.
Yes, I saw that he was in rehab. That they sent him to rehab.
Okay.
And then eventually that when he went to a 30-day rehab.
Okay.
And then before his release, his own words, whereas the WWE came to him and said, "We want you another 30 days." He said, "No." They released him the next day.
So there had to be something else that had the company saying, "Hey, bro, we need another 30 days from you."
Yeah, because of cocaine.
Yeah.
Because he got popped once. Then he said that he got popped for a second time.
Okay.
They swept that underneath the rug because they said, okay, it's very close.
Yes.
He got popped for a third time. And the third time was that he thought he was in the clear.
See, those words that you're spitting out, Sean, sounds eerily similar to what John Jones did in the UFC. Keep spinning and spinning and spinning more lies until they become factual.
Right. But that's
and
the
once they
problem
become
with liars.
factual, pathological liars, to be exact, is that you start believing your own narrative. And once you start believing your own narrative, you can honestly go down a rabbit hole. If you go down a rabbit hole, bro, I don't know where you come from.
Right? So when you go to, it's going to be an interesting tell of what happens with Matt Riddle after this information with Ariel Helwani, because, I mean, that was a big bombshell that you drop on Ariel Helwani. But you know what? We're going to go to a break. When we come back from a break, we got Canelo Alvarez in the news, Tristan.
Oh, yes, we do.
We got Canelo Alvarez in the news. We got Ryan Garcia in the news. I mean, the stories are packed. You can't forget about Jake Paul's fighting this weekend on Saturday.
Your boys will come back after the break. The brothers, Sean and Tristan Ducross, we will be back. Make sure you pass that popcorn. So good.
Hit that subscribe button right here
Yep.
on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, whichever way you're watching us right now.
But we got
follow us.
boxing talk coming up next. You won't want to miss what we have to talk about on that next subject. It's going to be juicy. What's up? We are back. Hey, so we are the Ducross brothers. I'm Tristan Ducross. Along my side, as always, my partner in crime, the one and only Sean Ducross. We are the Ducross brothers. We're here every Wednesday night. We are back. We ain't going anywhere. So we're going to get this ball rolling, and then we're going to get out to cover events and do our thing again and stuff like that. So, yeah. Be on the lookout for the brothers coming back strong. So if you want on the show, you know how to get a hold of us, and we'll get you on the show. In the meantime, cross that line all day, every day. Sean, I love it when boxing's in the headlines because I've been a fan of boxing for a very, very long time, probably longer than mixed martial arts, but don't get me wrong. Boxing is at a all-time high. Can you agree?
Yes and no. Do I feel like it's at an all-time high? Not really, but do I feel like it's at an elite level? Yes. That I'll give to you. And then it starts with the biggest player in the game is none other than Canelo. Like, when you talk about Canelo and you talk about big headlines, you talk about none other than the big money draw himself lately. And he's in the headline because he signed with, who did he sign with? He signed with DAZN.
Yes.
And he signed with them for a 3-fight deal back in June.
Yep.
Where he fight Jermell Charlo.
One of the Charlo twins.
Not Jamal.
Yes.
But Jermell was one of the most underwhelming performances I think I've ever seen in a boxing fight. Charlo came out and didn't even look like he wanted to engage in the fight. He was very dismissive, didn't want to be a part of it.
This is true.
And it was awkward. So then the WBA, I believe is who it was, announced that Jermell Charlo, and again, if I'm wrong, fight fans, please just let me know in the comments.
Right.
But notified that the other twin was the mandatory matchup for him, and DAZN and Canelo could not agree on the bout. Again, Canelo wanted to do his bout and compete on none other than his Cinco de Mayo, May
Correct.
4th weekend. That's what he does. That's what he fights. That's what he loves to do. It's just big money draw every year. They couldn't come to an agreement. He bailed out. But not only did he bail out of that fight after they couldn't come to good terms, he bailed out of the whole contract. He had 2 fights left remaining. And on those 2 fights, he had already mutually agreed to the 3rd fight. But then he bailed out and said no mas.
Right.
Literally within mere minutes, story comes out. Want to know who he signs with? Doesn't re-up with Golden Boy. Joins Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is promoted the last, I think is what it was. I think it was his last 6 fights.
This is
prior
true.
to DAZN.
Right.
But he goes to Eddie Hearn at Matchroom Boxing, who's still on DAZN.
Yeah, that's insane. Because we know the type of money that Canelo brings in. We know the type of draw Canelo is. For him to be a free agent now, you have to be crazy enough. Because this guy set the record before with the highest paid free agent contract last time.
Right.
You think he could do it again?
He's going to get close. But I want to know more about as to why those terms fell apart. What were the terms? What was the issue? Did Jamal want a little bit more money than what the A side wanted to be given? Because
look, it always,
we know in boxing, Tristan,
you've
got
the A side
and you got the B side. That's how they clearly divide it.
Yes.
Did Jamal think he was more on the A side than the B side? So was his camp pushing more money out there? And then when you look at his other fight that he had with the other brother, you're like, no, we're not going that route. So did Jamal get lowballed because his brother did such a poor performance? There's so many avenues you can go.
So, as a brother, right?
Yeah,
You can attest to this.
right. It leads me to believe that if you're talking brother to brother,
Yeah.
just based on the mere personality aspects, if you break it down, is that in our situation,
People are going to pick me over you.
you wish. They think you're a dick.
This is true
and then
sometimes.
when you're an ass, sorry for my language, when you're a bad guy, then I'm naturally lumped into being a bad guy.
This is true.
I could be completely 100% innocent in all things situated.
Yep.
But if you're bad,
And I'm a heel.
I'm naturally bad.
This is true.
I could be the best guy ever. I could sing you cuddle songs. I could sing you lullabies. It don't matter.
Yep.
I think that's what happened with the Charlo brothers. Because of the poor performance with Jermel,
Yep.
it meant the end of the world for Jamal.
This is true.
He was not going to get what he wanted. And you could blame his brother for that. Much like when I get drugged through the mud, it's not me, it's you. But it didn't matter at the end of the day what the situation was, because once the perception and the notion is there,
God, I hate that word.
it is what it is.
God.
Reality of the situation. Poke the bear, get the stick.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves, Sean. Is that whole perception situation, because I really 100% disagree with the perception. But what's the perception going to be when at the end of the day, Canelo gets his contract, but we ain't talking about the fighter, we're talking about the money. And if we're talking about the money, let's just jump the line. Let's go to Ryan Garcia.
But Tristan, hold on. But only if that money situation was true. Because he already agrees to a bout with Eddie Hearn. Tristan, many people thought that he was going to go over to Matchroom Boxing and then join with DAZN. And then the fact that he was going to go ahead and fight Berlanga. But instead, he agrees to a fight against a guy named Jaime Munguia.
Yes.
I think is how I
Yep.
say it. Munguia is 43-0, 34 knockouts. This guy's no pushover. This guy's been around on the block. This could be a much bigger and troublesome bout for that of Canelo. Then if you look at the next one down the line, is that if they're preparing his bout for Berlanga is still a kid. I think he's like 20-something years old. The kid is already 22-0 with 17 knockouts. His first 6 bouts as a professional, all knockouts. The guy is a savage.
My only
Quicker,
concern.
bigger, faster, stronger.
Right. All 100% accurate. My only concern, and you know this being in the fight game, is on paper, looks amazing. On paper, looks like a unique challenger. Keyword there. On paper.
Because it's Canelo.
My issue is that it is Canelo. My issue is that we've seen fighters get blown up records just so he looks like he's a unique fighter and a better fighter than what he is.
Right.
That's my concern about Berlanga. So I will hold for judgment until I start seeing more of him starting to get ready, ramping up for this fight. When I see that, then we can have a different discussion, because I want my eyes to start seeing the training camps, the footage of how he's going to conduct himself. That's what I want to see. If that fight happens, that's what I want to see first.
I mean, we're already seeing a ramp up right now with Ryan Garcia. You know, I couldn't stop thinking.
Ryan Garcia.
Okay, I couldn't.
Are we?
sta-
Hold
I-
on.
No.
Hey, me, you,
Yes.
you, go.
All right. So, I was battling this all day. I was going back and forth all day with Ryan Garcia. I'll get to Devin Haney here in a little bit. Okay.
Uh-huh.
But there's so many different weaves that I can go with my commentary with Ryan Garcia.
100%.
There's like going to be like 4 different things we're going to probably touch on with Ryan Garcia. The first thing I want to touch on, bro, what the fuck are you doing coming out with a gold ass throne and women dropping white petals around you? I get your nickname is the king, but what are you doing? You just are coming off a loss in your first super fight to Tank, and you're coming out with a gold throne and freaking pedals being dropped at your feet.
Bro, I can't with this guy. I can't. Look, the throne thing, bro, okay, get it. You're the king. Cool. Pedals, a little bit much. Two other issues I have with this guy, though, okay? And it's not about the hand lotion through the hair. It's not that. I promise you that. I'm sorry. I'm not putting lotion through my hair. I'm just not doing it. I am not going to put hand lotion in my hair. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
We're out of the age of wearing baggy clothes, too.
Yes. And his is like 3 times the size of him. But I digress. But I'm not talking about baggy clothes. I'm not talking about the hand gel through the hair. Not talking about that. I want to talk about how this guy continues to contradict himself. He's on ESPN First Take all like, you're my buddy. I love you, man. He talks up Devin Haney like he's this good fighter, not a great fighter. He'll say that he's good, not great. He will sit there exactly how you are right now, Sean, you and I. Look directly to Devin Haney and say that you're a good fighter, you're not great. I will knock you out, make no mistakes about it, and talk civil to him. Then even explain to him about a fight that was supposed to happen about a year ago between Haney and Ryan Garcia, only for it to fall apart when, wait for it, he was on a walk with Floyd Mayweather, and Mayweather told him, don't do it. Yes, Daddy. So hold up. Ryan Garcia, this guy that touts that nobody controls him. He can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, say what he wants, and nobody will tell him otherwise. But yet, Floyd Mayweather got in his ear a year ago and told him, bro, no. So he said, no, I'm good, and backed out of the fight. Among some other not-so-choice words. Half the interview on First Take was bleeped out. I'm really tired of this soft generation just saying, everybody cusses. Hell, you just dropped a couple F-bombs here.
I know, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm on serious radio a little bit. It is what it is. But, so, you talk about Ryan Garcia. Again, you talk about perception. You talk about bravado. You talk about everything that he exudes, right?
Say with your chest.
Why is it that everything he says comes off fake?
True.
Why does it feel like that he's got this much tougher persona than what he actually does? And I could be horribly wrong.
Sean.
But he seems like he wants to talk a tougher game than he's really ready for. He did that way against Tank, came in aggressive, and got knocked out by Tank.
Why do I feel like that you and I have more street cred than he does?
I mean, I probably have.
I'm just saying. Walk a mile in our shoes, and we can guarantee you we might have more street cred than he does.
I mean, I could tell you a story.
Yep. We're not going to do that because that might get you. We're not touching that one.
I could tell you a story, but hey, I'm just saying. I got multiple stories that would say, like, Ryan Garcia, what have you done, buddy?
Yep.
But
Sean, here's another thing. You talk about that bravado. You talk about that stronghold that he tries to kind of put up, right?
Yeah.
Here's 2 incidences that I'm going to drop you, okay? When we talk about bravado, we talk about these guys trying to put on a tougher persona and sell a fight, okay? Yeah. Right? We had an altercation that started first in a hotel room with a shove and a push and whatever, right? Then we had the First Take. So we have this bravado and this, I'm tougher than you and I'm going to push you.
Did we have the confrontation inside of a gym?
Yep. Then we had a confrontation at a gym. Then we had this press conference that just happened, and it kind of ended in a pushing and a shoving match, ultimately because David Henney said that he was drunk. So here we go again. We are in a world where we seriously have to mind our own P's and Q's, correct? You would say?
Certain things,
Yeah,
when
right.
you're on a press conference, I think you gotta be a little bit more professional and be more accountable.
Dude,
for your own words.
this isn't UFC. This isn't misfit boxing. This 100% is a boxing presser where ultimately you should think that they would act more humble and more professional. But no, they put on a show for everybody, and I get it. I'm all about the show.
Right.
All about it.
You got to draw the fight fans in, and
Right.
that's what they're doing.
You
selling the hell out of this
You
card.
want to be a heel, you want to be a villain, go about
But
it.
I've never seen so much drama
Around a fight this early.
because you've got the fight announced at the Barclays Center, and then now Ryan Garcia is like, no, this fight's not happening at Barclays. This fight of this magnitude needs to be moved to the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. You're like, no, it's not.
Right.
But
So they don't want the
big
fight
time
in New York.
advocating to move it. We'll see how that plays out.
Look, the only reason why
the
he
drama
wants... Hold on.
around
The
this-
only... Talk about the MGM Graham situation, okay? The only reason why he wants that fight moved from New York to Las Vegas, you know exactly why. Judges in his back pocket.
Right. He's afraid that Devin Henney may not have the most power, right? He may not have that. But one thing that Devin Henney has in his back pocket is that he's a very strong competitive boxer. He can go 12 rounds easily. He has a lot in his tank.
Yes, he does.
So when you look at what he's up against, he can sleep Ryan Garcia if he just connects one time at the right moment. So you look at that transition, right? Like Devin Henney's dad said to Ryan Garcia, are you going to come in heavy, fast, and aggressive like you did against Tank? Because if so, Devin's going to meet you with that right hand. He's going to put you to sleep. He very well could. He does have some knockouts. It's not like he hasn't knocked out people before.
He doesn't have fake power. He has speed power. And what I mean by fake power is that we're not looking at a guy that could feint. We're not looking at a guy that can kind of roll. We're looking at a guy that's going to kind of sweep away, duck, get under a jab, and hit you with that right.
Right.
Haney is an interesting prospect. I've seen him fight. I've covered him from fighting.
Yeah, you're the first time you ever covered Devin Henney when we heard about him.
And I
were
told
at
you
Pachanga.
what about him. Do you remember?
Yeah, that he was the next coming to Floyd Mayweather. Not a lot of power, but he's sneaky skillful.
Yes, he is.
Defensively skillful.
And if you're a defensive boxer and you can roll your shoulders or you can block punches, that's where I think this is all going to come down to.
Who's the better counter boxer?
Exactly. And unfortunately, Ryan Garcia is not that good of a counter puncher. Look at the kidney shot that took him out, or the liver shot, I should say.
But you know what sucks about this fight? There's literally, or shouldn't be, any pressure whatsoever on Devin Haney. The pressure is all on Ryan Garcia for the mere simple facts that I'm going to say right now. One is the fact that he already lost one super fight. The second one being he continues to talk about all these super fights he wants to have.
True.
This is the second one. If he loses, yes, it was on a handshake and saying like, it's not going to happen. But he shook the hand of Bill Haney and said that, yeah, you know what? If I do lose, if I get knocked out, I will retire. Well, if you lose your second super fight, in the words of the boxing community, where do you go? You can't start from the bottom. You can't start at the top.
Man, that's
in boxing. There's like almost nowhere you can go. You're in purgatory. You're in purgatory at that point.
You're in the undead realm at this point.
You're floating. You're asking for help from every angle, and you're not going to get it because you're in purgatory now if you lose this fight. And I don't think Ryan Garcia is fully taking this seriously. I think he's taking it for the money draw.
The thing about Ryan Garcia is he is not a Conor McGregor. Right?
What was that?
Ryan Garcia, as much as he's trying to build the persona, he is not a Conor McGregor.
No. He's not a Conor McGregor.
He believes that his hype and his influence and stuff like that will take him through the roof.
Right.
His skill set is good. The thing is, I wait for greatness. Because sometimes I see flashes of greatness, but I don't see it all the time.
Here's the thing.
I saw a glimpse of it against Tank when he got rocked in the second round, but I did not see anything beyond that.
Here's the thing with greatness, okay? To be great, you got to believe, you got to achieve, you got to have the skill.
And you also have to be able to weather the storm that comes with it when you lose. The
problem with Ryan Garcia is the fact that I think from a young age, when we first started hearing about Ryan Garcia, because he was a local kid in our area, I think he was like up the street when we started hearing of him out of Ontario.
Yep.
When there was a boxing promotion out in Ontario, put on a couple cards in Ontario, we started to hear the name of Ryan Garcia. Then he started to put some wins together, flashy knockouts with the left hook. Throwback, left hook, reminds me, Jeff Left Hook Lacey, my God.
That's another boxer that fell off the planet.
Right. But when you get to a certain level, and I've said this many times on our show and our podcast throughout the years, you got to have people in your corner that tell you no. He is so afraid to be told no. It's like, don't tell me what to do. Don't do this. Don't do that.
That's what I'm saying.
And I think that's where he's at, is that his ego has gotten so big. That's why he's in this fight.
He lost, and he's in a WBC title fight. But when you look at everything that has transpired all the way up until now, there's still another fight that is still nipping on the heels. Am I right? My brother?
The thing, though, about that fight is he comes out and he challenges Sean O'Malley. That fight?
No.
Which one?
Jake Paul.
We'll get to that one in a minute.
Okay.
But you got to talk about the craziness of
Ryan Garcia. Do you think his head's all there? 100%. Just first thing off the top of your head.
No.
Cool. All right. Just so we're aware of that.
But again, that's the problem that I was just talking about, and why I brought up the Sean O'Malley comment, is there anybody in this corner that is willing to tell him no?
What do you think needs to be done?
Somebody needs to tell him no and legitimately hold their foot down and not let him go like, you don't tell me what to do. Like Bernard Hopkins will straight up tell him like, bro, you have a 60-40 chance of beating Devin Haney.
I would reach over the table right now and hug it out because they hugged it out. They squashed their beef. They hugged it out.
Allegedly.
They did it at the press conference. They hugged it out.
It was awkward. It was awkward.
It was like entourage moment. Hug it out.
But you know what? We'll go ahead and head off to a break here, and then we'll be right back with Jake Paul, because Jake Paul is going on Saturday. More boxing.
With your brothers, Sean and Tristan Ducross, the Ducross brothers. Cross that line with us Wednesdays. All right, people. How are my people out there doing right now? Welcome to the Warriors Den.
Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Go
Show
over
your
to
brother some love.
go over to I Love Auntie, which is one of our sponsors for CBD needs. Like if you like CBD oil, CBD rub, go over to I Love Auntie and use the ducrossbros as the code, and you get 10% off. So head on over there, check them out. Love their stuff. Man, dude, that was a spirited topic about Ryan Garcia.
How about we get a little bit more spirited? What do you think about that?
I don't think we can get any more spirited without going over the top after what we just encountered a few minutes ago.
Let's not go completely over the top, but maybe just right there on the fringe, like our boy Jake Paul.
Why? Because you think he's a fringe boxer?
Do you think he's not?
Not anymore. He's 8-1. He's fighting a guy this weekend that's 17-2. Just hasn't fought in 3 years. Like how I suddenly threw that one out there. By the way, hasn't fought in 3 years. Like, wait, what? What are we doing?
All right. So Jake Paul gets his hands on Ryan Broland.
Yes. 17-2. 6 knockouts. 35 years old. Won his last 10 fights out of 11. Hasn't fought since 2022. Say what?
So Jake Paul continues to
fight guys with great records. Andre August.
He's now
Ryan Broland
stepping up into the traditional boxers, away from the circus and the sideshows.
But still not ones that make you go, Because did you see, really? You're challenging a guy that hasn't fought since 2022?
Again, what's his record?
17-2. But that's cool.
Hasn't fought in?
Since in 3 years. But you talk about the fact, like, so you went, found a guy with a decent record, pulled him off the streets, gave him a solid payday.
And said,
what?
well, because he's 17-2, he must be good.
Right. Because he's a former Golden Glove boxer, he must be good. That's cute.
That's cute. Hey, on the flip coin of this, right?
You know, everybody laughs when I say things like that. When I go, oh, that's cute. Oh, you want me to cuddle you?
You should see me at work too, bro. But Jake Paul and then Ryan Broland, you know this is not a main event fight, right?
No, Amanda Soriano's fight is main event.
I saw that. I was like, whoa. Jake Paul's not the main event? He's a co-main event? He's the number 2.
But he get paid the number 1.
Yep. Amanda Soriano was named versus, what is it?
And you know, that
Nina Mickey?
And that can all change by the weekend.
No, it can't.
Yes, it can.
No, it can't.
It's Jake Paul.
It's going to be Amanda Soriano, and Nina Mickey is going to be your main event. So they are the 1s, and he is the 2s.
And this is going down in Puerto Rico.
In the alleged hometown of the Paul brothers. Still don't understand how Puerto Rico is theirs.
But you look at this fight, it's like if he notches another one and knocks out another boxer in dramatic fashion like he did to Andre August with that uppercut, Tristan, we'll be back here next Wednesday going, what the just happened? We'll be going like, guys?
I'm one of the very few.
That is a non-believer.
And I say very few. No. If I said I was a non-believer, bro, I would be with the masses. I am right now a borderline tweener. I am not pro Paul. I'm not disliking Paul. I'm like, here's this Paul brother again. And I'm like, oh my God. Is he going to win?
Tristan, the arguments you would encounter with me on our podcast last year.
Yep.
No, 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Damn, 3 years ago.
About how it didn't matter what I would say or what I would do. You'd be adamant that Jake Paul or the Paul brothers are both trash. But here we are 3 years later. Jake Paul is one of the most relevant boxers, whether you want to admit it or not.
And Logan Paul is the most relevant brother in freaking...
One of the most gifted wrestlers I think I've ever seen since sliced bread. They're not supposed to be
What has
good.
happened to the world that we live in, man?
You know, it was
When you could get influencers to be some of the best athletes and
because it was
sports
said to me
entertainers.
that made the most sense. This is what happens when you have all the money in the world and all the time in the world, and you can throw yourselves into this. If they didn't have all the time and if they didn't have all the money, they probably wouldn't be as good as they are right now. They have the money. Jake Paul has the money to say, you know what? I just want to be a boxer. Logan Paul,
Yeah, I just want to be a wrestler.
They have the money to do it. So that's why they're at the level that they are when it comes to being, yeah, cool, they're influencers. But no, they're really not. They set their minds to what they wanted to accomplish and what they wanted to achieve. And they used their money for beneficial reasons.
Man, to think about it too, man, where they came from.
And the fact that Logan Paul's stigma was always about the YouTube thing about finding the unholy ground of whatever he did in a rainforest or whatever.
Right.
That was his stardom. Jake Paul was a Disney kid.
Like, how did we get so far?
Nickelodeon kid. One of them.
How did we get so far gone from that to where we're at right now? Like, whether you hate the Paul brothers or you like them, it does not matter at this point in time, folks.
I think the hate...
You got to eat crow.
I think the hate on the brothers come from the simple fact is they figured out social media
Before everybody else.
social media became a thing. And was doing dumb stuff, whether it was on the
Bro,
whether it
we're
was
39 and I still don't know how to work social media.
right. But they
So if
figured
anybody
it-
out there knows about social media and you want to get on with the brothers,
help us.
help us.
But that's the thing. They were on Vine. They were Nickelodeon, Disney Kid, whatever they were. One of the two networks. So they had a following, and then they found social media before it became social media, before it became a thing, before anybody ever cared. And then when it became a thing, it was easy for them to blow up. I think that's where the hate comes from, is they saw two guys just skyrocket and take off to another atmosphere when there are plenty of people that are like, no, I should have been there. I should have done that. Like, believe it or not, we're one of them. Figured that if we figured out social media at an earlier age, if we figured out this podcasting at an earlier age, if we figured out everything about this podcasting platform at an earlier age, we would have succeeded far quicker than everybody else. Yes, we were the first ones on ESPN radio in San Diego to do MMA. Screw everybody else that doubts that. That's fact. That is the fact, and that is the God honest truth. First ones. As you would say, put respect on the goddamn name. Second thing is, yes, there's always a little bit of jealousy from me, from when I see other people that do what we do, don't do it at our level, and it annoys me because of the fact that they go ahead and has other people to help spam their stuff.
Yep.
It's just you and I. My wife doesn't help. Our dad doesn't help. Nobody helps us do this except
We don't
for
have
us
a media team behind us.
in between working 40
Full-time.
plus hours a week.
And you have a kid and married.
So yes, there's a little jealousy. So that's where my understanding of where the hate comes from on the Paul brothers. The jealousy is so real. When you sit back and you watch people achieve levels above you, when you believe you should be there. Like Roman Reigns has the best quote, levels above. The people that are levels above is because of the people that they surround themselves with. Roman Reigns is levels above because of the people and the bloodline that he's around. Jake Paul and Logan Paul are levels above because of the people that they're around now to help them achieve levels of greatness that not many people can achieve.
Facts.
The people that are on the lower end of the podcast spectrum that are a little bit higher than you and I have a team around them that are helping them achieve levels above us. We don't have the capabilities to sit back and have a team of like 3 or 2 other people other than us. We can't afford that. We can't achieve that.
Nobody operates our switchboard but us. Nobody operates our camera but us.
So I completely think that's where the jealousy comes from.
So is that why you're pro Paul Brothers, honestly?
Because I'm at the point that as I get older, it is what it is.
Fair. Okay.
It is what it is. So I would rather keep my mouth shut in certain aspects.
But you did it right now. This is the first time I actually heard you actually say something
Right.
off your chest. Usually it's me.
But it's because I can relate to why. You asked a question
Yes.
that I can oppose as to why we're at where we're at.
Okay, that's fair.
So normally I just ignore it. Normally I just
You try to tell me to ignore it, but I can't.
and I just sweep it underneath the rug, or if you send me a comment, send me a post, whatever, I just ignore it. I move on. But I think that's why people hate the Paul brothers.
Does Paul win?
Did you really ask me that question?
100%.
You're ridiculous. If it's not a first round knockout, it's a second round knockout. Either way, Ryan Bolden, you're going night-night.
Amanda Soriano, she got the dub?
Easy.
Easy money?
Easy.
You betting?
Betting? No. Should I go on better and bet? Maybe.
I don't think you can because we don't live in Las Vegas. California still hasn't legalized that. Why? Why? But so outside of that, we're just about what?
We got like 20 minutes left.
Fair enough. So do you want to go to the break or keep kind of going into everything else?
No, because what do we got left?
PFL versus Bellator.
Yes.
CSAC hit the UFC hard.
I'll leave that at the bottom because, I mean, that was, when I looked at it, it's like, do I really care? Not really.
Bro, 7 fighters got hit with the hydration rule.
It's welcome to
California. That's true.
Like, it's not the first time the UFC's been hit hard with
Oh, hey,
sanctions
guys.
from CSAC.
I do got one thing to say real quick. If you're in the IE and you're in Temecula, our backyard, you want to see some youth amateur fights? Head out to Dan Henderson's gym in Temecula, California, March 9th. They got a show going on out here. It's going to be a hell of a show. So if you guys want to see some youth and local MMA, support Dan Henderson's gym and Dan Henderson's Fight Night because they got something special brewing over there. So make sure that you go check them out when you can. What else do we have?
Let's go to break.
All right.
Last break of the evening.
Last break of the evening. We're going to come back, finish strong, cross the line with your brothers, Sean and Tristan who cross. We'll be right back in the Warriors Den.
Whoops. Good job, Tristan. 20 minutes of talk, and he never turned his on. So you just watched us talking and never turned his on.
Sorry. Damn.
Terrible.
I was trying to figure out why I didn't hear it in my freaking ears. So let's go back.
You're going to have to cut that up now.
Yes, I know. But let's go back. So we were talking about Sting.
Right. Well, we were talking about Sean Spears.
Yes, Sean Spears having the euphoric kind of like mantra behind it. Damn, I can't believe I just did that. Fuck. Oh, that's shitty. That was good talk too.
It was good talk.
Damn. Sorry.
One job, Tristan.
Well, on the bright side is Sean Spears, part of this new Bo Dallas, right? That's what we were talking about. When we were talking about Bo Dallas, the Wyatt 6 mantra, we were mentioning that Bo Dallas is now part of this Dreadmere phenomenon that's taking over YouTube. None of the TikTok professional wrestling podcasts, influencers, whatever you want to call them, are talking about this. Busted Open, the number one sports talk for pro wrestling, isn't even talking about this. Nobody seems to be picking up on this. But we have Bo Dallas as the leader. We got Sean Spears now.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, was the fact that not even the TikTok influencers of professional wrestling, and I've made comments to them, like they were talking about how one was Okada, and it's not Okada. And it's like, no, dude, it's Bo Dallas. Like you have to look over at Dreadmere. You have to look at you have to look at what's going on with Dreadmere and what's going on with Bo Dallas, and look what is going on with the WWE and Bo Dallas's gimmick of Uncle Howdy, Dreadmere. I forgot what the third face was that he used, but it's a weird white mask guy. But you look at what he's doing, and Sean Spears, while we thought it was Joe Gacy, and you thought about it now that we know that one of them is Sean Spears, and you talk about how weird he is, it's kind of fitting because he's helping him see the light. Mentioned the forbidden door
that he walked right through.
AEW.
Brought him back from obscurity.
Right.
But so then we were talking about who possibly could be joining the Wyatt 6, right? We mentioned Ricochet.
Right.
Because we haven't seen him for a minute. So we were talking about that there could be a mask involved for Ricochet. You, my friend, brought a Puma.
Yeah, from Lucha Underground.
If Triple H has anything to do with this, that's a strong possibility because he seems to be not afraid of bringing people's past
to
stuff to the front now. Doesn't seem to care where you were, what you were about. You have a brand, he's going to own it.
And that brings me to the fact that if you're talking about bringing the past to the forefront, where's Braun Strowman? Braun Strowman's a perfect candidate because we saw it again in the Bo Dallas videos over on Dreadmere.
And in that, we also saw Redbeard.
And then you see a female with covered up. That's where Alexa Bliss comes in.
Yes.
So there's your 6 people in this Wyatt
Bo Dallas,
6.
Sean Spears, Ricochet, Redbeard, Braun Strowman, and Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
There's your Wyatt 6. And then we move forward to what we saw tonight in AEW, with AEW bringing back WCW Crow Sting.
From the rafters with a black trench coat that had white scorpion on the back.
We keep saying that they're not doing right by Sting.
But tonight was the right way. Baseball bats.
His final show for AEW as a professional wrestler.
Sunday.
March 3rd at Revolution, his farewell.
Sunday.
I was talking to our dad about this when I was going to get my car today. Was that can you believe that we were born in 85 and since day one, wrestling has been in our blood, and we've grown up with Stinger right in front of our eyes, and now we get to see him off the way that you and I both believe that he should have been sent off, not that garbage in WWE.
Right. So I'm beginning to wonder, like, yeah, he's done crazy stuff in WWE. I mean, in AEW.
Yep.
I get it. But
it's what he's
he
wanted to do.
He hasn't really done a whole lot in the ring. He has moments. So I'm beginning to think like when he dives off the top of the Raptors, if you will. Like, are these moments of where he death drops a guy through a table from the top of a balcony? Are these moments of him to have moments and that he's been saving himself for the one last match where he wants to be able to go?
I don't know.
And end up doing things the way he wanted it to be done.
I honestly do not think we're getting a match inside the ring. It's
Another
a tornado.
cinematic?
It's not going to be cinematic,
yeah,
but it's a tornado tag match. So basically anything goes. So we're not going to get Sting inside of inside a squared circle. We're not. Expect crazy shit. Expect a good fight. I hope, I pray
that he doesn't go off and dive off something even higher.
No, go for it. Have at it, bro. Last show, wing it. Do not care. What I want AEW to do, and I plead to them,
just protect him.
Protect him, and also let him go out. Unlike every other retirement, you put the straps on him, even though he said no. Keep the straps on him. Have him walk out the way he deserves to walk out as a champion.
And then relinquish the titles.
Yes.
On AEW Dynamite.
100%.
And then start a tournament.
Yep.
Best way to do it.
100%. The good guys beat the villains.
Makes sense. I'm okay with that. I just don't want to see the Young Bucks have the titles on them.
Right.
That makes no sense to me.
I do think Ric Flair will play a role in this fight. I hope it's a screw job against the Young Bucks. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, well, they kind of beat up on Ric Flair tonight.
I did not see that.
That's why Sting came down from the rafters.
All right. Fair enough.
So it'll be interesting.
But again, guys, I'm sorry for that botch. Damn, we were going smooth. So smooth during this show.
It was. Just edit out the gap.
I will try. Damn. That is a buzzkill for me, though, because, man, we were rocking and rolling.
It happens. I should have caught it. You should have caught it. It is what it is. I didn't catch it either until I was like, wait a second. There's no
Who
audio.
caught it for you?
Me.
Bro, it took you that long?
But you're in charge of the board.
Yes, you could have told me.
But that's why I was like, wait, I'm not hearing anything, huh? And then I was like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
See? We control our own switchboard.
We control our own fate. See? Live and in color. This is what you get when it's only two people. Somebody occasionally drops the ball.
But I do appreciate you guys for tuning in to us. I love you guys. But John, that's it. Do you have anything else you want to say before we kick it off the air?
You want to talk about CSAC, and I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, you don't care.
No, because it's California. It is what it is.
That's fine, man. That's fine.
So, as we get more comfortable with this, we'll go a little bit longer for the full hour.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm good.
And also, guys, as we continue to kind of ramp up the show and ramp up everything, we will be see if we can get some fighters onto the show and get back out there to live events and start covering that too, to give you also a different perspective too. But in the meantime, you can check us out here on YouTube, at the Sports Warriors, twitch.tv, the ducrossbros. You can follow us there. Thank you to our sponsors with I Love Auntie. The ducrossbros saves you 10% on all of your CBD needs. ESPN Plus, thank you. You can still get a crack off their subscription service by clicking on the link from us. In the meantime, Tristan Ducross, Sean Ducross, we are the brothers. We are the Ducross brothers. We cross that line every single Wednesday in the Warriors Den. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Let's get it on! Sprawl and brawl, ground and pound. Get ready for an MMA showdown. Now, the ultimate Octagon Insider, Sean and Tristan Ducross.